Hi, everyone. Happy Monday. So glad you're here. Just going to check audio really quick, make sure we're all set and good to go. Oh, yeah, we are set. Awesome. I'm so happy to have you all here with us. These classes have been providing so much routine to my day, and just having this to look forward to at the end of my Monday was everything that I needed today, that and some sunshine. So I hope that this has provided a little bit of a bright spot in your day as well. And I'm very happy to practice together tonight. If you've not joined us before, haven't practiced with me, I'm Mikki, and this is going to be an all levels feel good Monday night flow. Feel free to skip things along the way, to add things in if you want to kind of take it up a notch, or just to simply lay on your mat and take a nap. And I'll say namaste really loud at the end so it wakes you up if you need a nap tonight. I am going to give an option at the end of class for our Shavasana for just a really nice kind of low back release and hip opener that's really gentle. So if you happen to have a couple yoga blocks or two pillows that are about the same thickness, or you could also roll up towels and put them underneath the thighs for what we're doing, you might want to just go ahead and grab that. A couple blankets would do the trick, so you can get nice and comfy for Shavasana. If that just sounds and feels like too much right now, then don't worry about it. Okay, I'll give another option that doesn't require props. This is Musketeer. He will join us for pieces of class. And just like always, hi Kelly, hi Nicole, hi Steven. So glad to have you guys. Um, just like always, if you have any issues during class with the audio, please just put a note in the chat feed, and that way I'll be able to hopefully fix it and address it. All right, we're gonna get started on our vax tonight, lying down. So come on down. And any shape on your back will do. So just let yourself get comfortable. Could be knees bent, it could be legs straight. But I'm going to invite you, with whatever you're doing with the legs and the rest of your body, I'm going to invite you to bring your hands onto your abdomen in some way. So it might be both hands on your belly. It might be one hand on belly, one hand on heart. It might be another setup of the hands that's easier for your elbows and shoulders. But in some way, have your hands kind of tangibly connected to your body and ideally your breath. If it feels comfortable in this moment to close your eyes, let your eyes close. Let's all collectively take a full breath in, fill up, and a full breath out, let it go. All in our separate spaces, but all together. Let's do that again. Big breath in, and full breath out. And then start to let your breath settle into a rhythm that feels really settling and grounding for you tonight. That helps you to focus on your breath, whatever that rhythm is. We're going to take a few moments here as we start our practice tonight, not to check out, but to check in. Maybe check out from the rest of your day and the rest of the world, but to check in to yourself. And for most of us, it's easiest to connect with our sort of physical body. So you might start there, just noticing how your physical sort of outer shell and outer body feel tonight. And then start to sort of like an onion and with its layers, start to peel back those layers and connect with yourself a little more deeply, breath by breath. How does your breath feel tonight? How does your heart feel? How is your mind? How is your energy and your soul? Just checking in. One of the lessons of this practice is that everything we seek, everything we kind of look for, strive for, can be found within and is most sustainably found within. Peace, joy, contentment, clarity. We can go seeking these or searching for these in outside things like our job and our friends and our belongings and our routine. But at the end of the day, when all of that stuff is set aside for a while, we're left with just this. And this is where we can truly find these things. Whatever you're seeking comes from within. For me, the last couple of days, it's been this focus on kind of finding my inner peace and knowing that that doesn't come from anything around me or anything external. It comes from my mind and my heart. And so I invite you tonight as we start to move the body to do this checking in and to go inwardly seeking for whatever it is that you're looking for. However you'd like to feel in this moment, can you look for it inside as opposed to sort of that external reaching out that we tend to do? Start to shift your right knee into your chest. We're just going to brace or kind of stir up the hands around the hamstring. Even if you can do shin, just do hamstring for now. And for a moment here, I want your hamstring to push into your hands, and your hands are going to resist into your leg and just sort of feel a little bit of engagement and a standoff there. Let's take a big deep breath in and a big full exhale out. And at the very end of that exhale, let that battle subside and let that leg come all the way in to your belly. And just let the thigh get super heavy on your low abdomen. And let's feel the breath really tangibly now between your low belly and your right thigh. Feel that ebb and flow, that expansion and that drawing in. And if it's peace that you're seeking tonight, can you find even just sprinkles of it here? If it's comfort, can you find it here? Whatever it is, whatever that is that brought you to this space tonight, can you find it within? I'm just going to let the right leg release down onto the ground and switch it up. Bring your left knee in. Let's hold on to the hamstring of that left leg. Press the hamstring into the hands. Resist back with your hands until you feel that leg sort of come to life. A little bit of activity and engagement there. And let's take a big inhale, fill up. And then let the hands win, let the leg relax. As you exhale, bring that leg all the way into the belly and let it get nice and heavy on the abdomen so that you can really feel the breath between the belly and the thigh. Continue to check in. Let's take one more full breath here. And then at the end of your exhale, you're going to release that left leg down onto the mat. Take the arms up overhead. You're super helpful, musketeer. Get really long, fingertips to toe tips. And we're going to start to move with the breath here. So as you exhale, right knee comes in, hands reach down to either shin or thigh. And then inhale, release the leg and release the arms back overhead to the left. As you exhale, left knee comes in. Try not to rush here. Just let this be a really continual, steady movement. Inhale, release. Back to the right. Exhale, bring it in. You might also choose to bring the nose toward the knee now. And inhale, release. To the left. Head can stay down or head can lift. Up to you. And release. But we do two more on each side. Just let yourself get lost in the movement here. To the left. One more time on the right. Just moving at your own pace of breath. There's no such thing as too slow or too fast, as long as you're moving with yourself. And one more time on the left. We'll go ahead and release that leg one more time. Take the arms up overhead. Get super, super long, like you just grew an inch. And then let's bring both knees into your chest. Reach down, grab onto shins or thighs. And let's start to rock and roll up and down your spine. And however it works for you, we're going to make our way up and over into table. Sometimes that's easier to do than others. Musketeer has decided that these are all about him. All right, once you're in your table, wrists below shoulders, knees below hips. And let's inhale, drop the belly, lift the heart, cow pose. And exhale, round the spine, cat. Inhale, utter drops, right? Cow pose. It's utter down. And then just like a Halloween, cats round your spine as you exhale. Let's take a couple more of those, and I want you to really feel down into your support here. Let the hands root, let the shins root. One more round. And at the end of this cat, we're going to move your left hand over on top of your right hand. Keep your spine rounded. Let your hips pull all the way back toward your heels. There'll be a little side bend here in your child's pose. And then just simply inhale, come back up. Let the left hand come under your shoulder. Cow pose, belly down, head and heart up. Exhale, cat, round your spine. And at the end of that exhale, right hand on top of left, pull it back, hips toward heels. And the next inhale, come up, right hand returns to its proper place, right back into cow. And then exhale, cat, and we're going to let your hips come all the way back toward your heels, just regular old child's pose for a breath. Let the forehead come down to the mat if there's room for you to do that. And then from here, let's take it all the way out onto the belly with the legs straightening back behind you. And we're going to let your hands come right by your side ribs, elbows bent, and let those elbows pull back. We're going to let the forehead come on down toward the ground, but I want you to keep those elbows pulling back and the shoulders moving away from the floor. So it's like you're doing the work of cobra if you're familiar with that pose, but you're going to let the head fall forward for right now. And then let's lift your right foot, stretch it back an inch or two, and then put the top of the right foot back down on the ground. We'll do the same thing on the second side. Left foot lifts, reach it back, 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 and then put it down and try to keep both legs nice and active. Let's inhale, lift the head now, baby cobra. Exhale like a wave, just bring it right back down. How about two more? Inhale, we'll rise up. Exhale, bring it down. And one more time. If you'd like to put some weight in the hands now and come up a little bit higher, definitely an option. And then right back down. Press into hands and knees, come up, table. And let's turn your index fingers out tonight as we prepare for downward facing dog, maybe like 1 and 11 on a clock or 2 and 10. We'll tuck your toes under and we're going to take your hips up and back for downward facing dog. And as your hips go up and back, let's take your feet as wide as your yoga mat. So pinky edges of your feet on the edges of your mat. Just a really spacious, wide down dog. This down dog has eaten too much quarantine food. And then let's shift your weight ever so gently into that left foot. And then over into your right foot. One more time each side. If you need to have a small bend in the knees, that is totally fine. And then even the weight side to side. And we're going to actually tonight walk your hands all the way back to your feet. And if you need to do a little bit of feet to hands, also an option. Just try out something different. Keep the feet really wide, and as you get into that fold, knees are going to stay softly bent. Let's go ahead and grab opposite elbows or opposite forearms. And with all of the space between your legs, let's sway and swing side to side. And just really go all the way over to the right and all the way over to the left. A couple times there. Nice release for those outer hips, the low back, some of our side body muscles that tend to get a little compacted from time to time. And then we'll bring it back to center. We're going to really root into the feet as you bring your hands down to the ground. Go ahead and put a soft bend into your knees and channeling our inner musketeer. We're just going to crawl ourselves back forward into our downward facing dog. Let's bring your feet back to about as wide as your hips. Take your time. And then inhale, let's rise up onto the tippy toes, heels lift. And exhale, heels drop. Let's do one more time just like that. Inhale, rise. And heels drop. You can stay with this for a couple more rounds or inhale, roll forward to plank. And exhale, hips up and back, downward facing dog. One more time, either just lifting and lowering the heels or inhale, plank. Exhale, down dog. And then from here, we'll now walk to the front of the mat. So feet come toward your hands. Make it work for you. Bend the knees as much as you need to. Be easy and gentle with your body. And then let's round the spine as you bend those knees more and roll up inch by inch by inch, all the way up to standing. And at the top there, let's take a very intentional shrug of the shoulders, forward, up, back, and down. Let your palms turn forward, the thumbs turn out. And let's take a couple breaths there. You may close the eyes if that feels comfortable. And just feel where the weight is in your feet. Feel the distribution of weight between heels and balls of feet. Can it be even? And little by little, work your way up the bones of your body. Just check in with how things are stacked. They're either going to make it easier and sort of more fluid and free to stand here, or they're going to make it feel harder and heavier. Could you feel like your thigh bones are stacked over your ankle bones? The middle of your shoulder is stacked more or less over the thighs and over the ankles. The back of your earlobes is in that line. And then let's blink the eyes open. Inhale, hands to the sky. And exhale, fold. Any amount of bend to the knees. Let's settle the fingers on your shins. Inhale, halfway lift, slide up. Exhale, bow forward. Root into your feet. Inhale, rise up, reach up. And see if you can settle right into that stacked line of the body again as you exhale, hands down into your heart and then down by your sides. Again, inhale, let's reach. Exhale, we'll fold. Fingers slide up the shins. As you lift up halfway, can you keep the weight even between the front and the back of the feet? We all have a tendency to want to go back in the heels. Try not to. And then exhale, fold. Rise up, reach up. Maybe you close your eyes again and just feel your body find that beautiful stack and alignment, hands to heart. Don't get too caught up on where should things be. Sense into it, feel it. Does your body feel like things are really flowing and easy in the body, or do you feel sort of those stuck heavy spaces? Starting the same way again. Inhale, hands go up. And exhale, we'll fold. Halfway lift. And then as you fold this time, right foot's going to stay, left leg will step back. We're going to keep your back knee off the ground. Have the feet like railroad tracks, about hip width apart, not in line with each other, but running parallel to each other. And we're going to come on up into your lunge. And if your shoulders are okay with it tonight, we'll take hands to the sky. If they're not, hands can always come to heart or hips instead. If you're dealing with some tension in the neck and shoulders, these can be good options. And then we're just going to root into your right big toe and start to straighten your front leg. That's going to be your inhale. And then exhale, bend the front knee, settle right back in. How about two more like that? Inhale, straighten, and exhale, bend. Straighten and bend. So you can stay with that if that's enough, or this time we'll straighten the leg. As you exhale, we'll take the hands forward, maybe down, maybe back, and then bend the front knee and inhale, come back up, shoulders over hips. You've got two more, so you can stay with just the straightening and the bending, or exhale, fold over a straight leg, and inhale, lift over a bent leg. One more time. With your next exhale, let your hands come down around your front foot from wherever you're at. And it does not need to be graceful, just make it work for you. Downward facing dog. You're invited to stay in this down dog. We also have already explored cat cow and child's pose, so those are also always options here when we find these moments of stillness between our standing poses. If you'd like to keep moving, you can come with me. Inhale, plank. This is going to be interesting. There you go. Put the knees down on the ground for this first one. Elbows point straight back as you lower toward the belly. We'll come all the way down onto the belly like we did before. You're here and set up for baby cobra. You might just keep it really low. Those of you that want to put some weight in the hands and come up higher, start to rise and move your shoulders down and back. And then we'll bring it right back down. And we'll make our way back into downward facing dog. Each of the poses purely as moments and opportunities to practice turning inward and cultivating those experiences, those qualities that we would like to have and that we would like to define our lives. There's really no magic in these poses. There's nothing that they give to you or hand to you. It's just shapes and opportunities to practice your inner reality. Let's inhale, left leg to the sky. In any way that works for you, foot between your hands. Set those feet on railroad tracks again. Back knee stays lifted. We come on up. Crescent lunge. Root into that left big toe. Inhale, straighten the front leg. And exhale, bend the front knee. We're going to do two more there. Even if you know you're going to add on, just stay here. Get into that sort of pulse, almost like the ocean. I'm a huge water lover, so these pulses for me are always meant to be a little bit symbolic of bodies of water. So you can stay with that if you'd like, or with this next round, we'll straighten that front leg, exhale, fold, hands reach down and back. And then bend the front knee and come back up. Wherever you're at is a great place to be. Two more breaths. We'll all rise up into our lunge one more time with that front knee bent. And we'll let your hands come down around your front foot. Step the back foot, to meet the front foot. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. And rise up, reach up. Maybe again, closing your eyes and just feel yourself come into alignment. That alignment might be outer body, physical body, it might be bones, it might be a sense of kind of your inner energy coming into alignment as well. Hands by your side. Let's take your feet a tiny bit wider than your hips. We're going to move your arms behind you, clasp the hands, so all of the fingers clasp together or just thumbs. Your choice there. And then let's take knuckles toward the floor, heart toward the sky, and shoulders broad. And I'm actually less interested here that the bones and the joints can kind of move back. Can you start to activate your upper back? So feel like the shoulder blades are pulling in toward each other. And from that upper back activation, can you then create space in the front of the chest and the shoulder? One more full inhale here. Full complete exhale. And then release your clasp for now. Take your hands back up toward the ceiling. And we'll exhale and fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bow forward. Right leg steps back first this time. This time, we're going to let your back heel spin down toward the ground. Those right toes will angle out just a little bit. Traditional setup here would be your heels, your front heel and your back heel now on one line. Like if you had a line that ran down the middle of the mat. I like to give myself a little more space though. So I still kind of like to head toward those railroad tracks and then come on up into warrior one. Let's start with hands up toward the sky. Just feel yourself kind of lunging into that front leg as you really root down and back through your back heel. So the legs are sort of working together but separately. You are invited to stay here if you would rather practice some stillness tonight. If you want to keep moving, I'm going to give you the option to take your hands behind your back and into that clasp, that same clasp we just did in mountain pose. So all of the fingers are just thumbs, your choice. We'll inhale, knuckles toward the ground, heart toward the sky. And then as you exhale, root into that back foot a little bit more, and let's bow forward toward humble warrior. You've got a couple rounds of breath here, so you can choose to spend them in movement, inhaling to lift, or exhaling to fold. You can also choose to spend them in stillness, and any point along this range that we've established, they're all options. Hands to the sky, you could hang out in humble warrior for a couple breaths. One more. One more breath wherever you're at. And then we'll let your hands come on down around your front foot. And let's step it back, downward facing dog. Couple breaths here. You're welcome to stay put and be still. You're welcome to take that same option we went through last round. Inhale, plank. Knees up or down will lower toward the belly. Inhale, cobra of any height. Exhale, lower. And we'll make our way back into downward facing dog. Let's settle wherever you're at for 3 to 5 more breaths, just depending on how quickly or slowly you're breathing. Try to stay with it. Try not to drop out and check your phone. Try not to kind of let your mind wander off. Doesn't matter what shape you're in, but can you stay really present with yourself? Stay with the breath in this act of checking in. When you're ready, we'll lift your right leg up and back. If that doesn't feel good, it's an option. You can skip it. And we'll take your right foot forward between your hands. Again, we're going to spin that back heel down onto the floor. Let those toes angle out. And let's come on up into your warrior one. We'll take a couple breaths there just to get down into the feet, to feel the work of the legs, that bending into the front knee, rooting into the back heel. And then if you're feeling like that clasp is a good idea on the second side, let's take the hands back. So either all of the fingers or just thumbs. Opposite thumb on top if you'd like. And then we'll inhale, heart lifts. And exhale, bow forward. Remember, you can stay upright and still if you'd like. We're going to take a few breaths here. So using them as feels good tonight. One last round of breath, whether you're in stillness or moving. And we'll release whatever clasp that you might have. Let both hands come straight up toward the sky. And let your hands come down around your front foot. And we'll step your back foot forward to meet the front foot. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, let's fold and slide your hands around to the back of your calves. So the hands are going to sort of just grab onto the back of the low leg there. And I want you to bend your knees a lot. Let your hands press forward into those calves. Feel the hands pressing the calves forward. And then the calves are going to resist back into your hands. And you're going to let the legs straighten any amount. They don't have to get all the way straight, but just head that direction. And then let the knees softly bend and straighten. So as the knees bend, feel the hands resisting the low legs forward. And then keep that little bit of resistance in your hands as you re-straighten the legs. And I want the hips to start to feel over time here that they're just heading straight up toward the sky as you find that straightening of the legs. Let's take one more breath here. And then we're going to rebend those knees pretty generously. Let the head be very, very heavy. Let the arms dangle. And we're going to roll up inch by inch by inch. And allow the head to be the very last thing that comes up. Again, maybe eyes closed. And just feel the bones and the joints, the pulse of your heart and the breath, and just feel how everything here is stacked and aligned, working together. And then inhale, hands go skyward. If you want to stay longer, feel free. And as you exhale, we're going to bring hands to heart, shift into your right foot, and let your left knee gently come on up toward the chest. And let's take a couple breaths to just check in here. So ideally, the same exact thing. Can you feel that stack or that alignment of your body? And there's going to be stacks of the body that feel a lot harder and a lot more work. Alignment of the body that's going to feel sort of icky and closed off. Can you just find the one that allows this left leg to come up and feel supported? The body and the breath feel really fluid. And then that left leg's coming back behind us into a lunge. And we're going to let that back heel stay lifted this time. And let's take your hands down onto that front thigh as you tip your torso over your front leg. Let's put a tiny bend into that back knee and then power up that leg and press the heel back. Couple full breaths. You can stay here with hands on thigh, or you can reach the hands back. If some of you would like to take the hands forward, that's also an option. And then let your hands come on down around your front foot. Left hand's gonna stay grounded, right hand to the sky. You can keep the back knee up or you can let the knee come down, up to you. Just a couple breaths here. And then as that hand comes down, we're gonna actually let your right hand come down inside the right foot. And let's wiggle your right foot out toward the right a little bit. So sneak attack of lizard pose. But let's go ahead and take your back knee off the ground. So back toes are tucked under. You can be on fingertips, you can be on flat hands, up to you. And if it works in your body, I want you just to find a little sort of swivel forward and back, or sway, if you will. Forward and back. Now, our destination, however you want to get there, is going to be left foot outside your left hand. And that might be that one of these times you swivel back or sway back. As you shift forward, you bring that left foot outside your left hand. It might be a few steps to get you there. Make it work. We're going to have toes out, heels in, feet about as wide as your mat. And then let's bend your knees, elbows on thighs. Football coach. Option 1. Go team, go. Option 2, start to bend your knees more and let your hips come on down toward the floor for a squat, Malasana. Hands can be on ground or hands can be at heart, up to you. Be kind to your knees, your low back, your calves, your ankles. Your heels might be off the ground. For some of you, that's just going to be your normal squat, and that's okay. That's not wrong. And then slowly, slowly, let's press down into your feet from wherever you're at. We're going to start to rise up. Reach your hands toward the ceiling. Bring your feet back to parallel. And exhale, hands to heart. Again, inhale, hands go up. Wait until your left foot, right knee comes up toward the chest. Take a moment to just check in, to feel, to notice how the placement of your body in space, the way you're breathing, the way your attention is focused, how all of these pieces either make this a more pleasurable experience or a really hard experience. And then that right leg is coming back behind us. We're going to step into your lunge. And once you've found the ground there, we're going to tip forward, let your hands come down onto that front thigh. Find that lean in the body. And let's put a little bend in the back knee to help us find the power of your back leg as you re-straighten the leg. Really press back through that right heel. You are welcome to stay here. Hands can reach back, or hands can go forward, up to you. Try not to tax your low back. Pick the one that feels really powerful and strong. And then last breath, as you exhale, hands come down around your front foot from wherever you're at. Right hand stays down, left hand toward the sky. You choose if that back knee is off the ground or if it comes down. Up to you. Couple breaths. We'll let that left hand come down inside the left foot. Wiggle left foot out. Tuck your back toes under, lift the knee off the ground. Start to find that movement, that sway forward and back. Same destination, just other side. So right foot's going to step forward. However it works for you. Try not to get caught up on it being graceful. Just find a way to stay with yourself through the movement. Toes out, heels in. Bend your knees, elbows on thighs. Option 1. So the focus really of this pose for me tonight is sort of that deepening of the crease between belly and thighs. You can do that here, or you can drop lower if it feels good in your body, but you don't necessarily get a ton more here that you don't get in the other option. So just pick the one that feels best for your body. If you're down in squat, stay with hands at heart, or if it feels nice, hands to the sky, and slow and steady, up we go. Try not to rush through it. I know it's unpleasant. I'm doing it with you. Hands to heart and feet parallel. Big full inhale here. Full complete exhale. Checking in once again. Well, we don't necessarily do these poses and movements all day in our body. We do live in our body all day. We breathe in our body all day. We move our body all day. And we tend to develop a lot of patterns. Some of those are good patterns and some of them are bad. And this just gives us this opportunity to check in. Notice the things that we don't notice when we have all the other clutter going on. Inhale, hands go up. And exhale, fold. Halfway lift, inhale. We're going to make our way back into downward facing dog for one more round of standing postures. You can flow through what we call a vinyasa. So we've done it a couple times tonight, that plank chaturanga back bend. You could also just walk back to down dog and get comfortable there. So stay with me if you want the vinyasa. Exhale to bend the elbows lower. Inhale into any amount of back bend. So maybe for some of you, upward facing dog with the thighs off the ground. Cobra we've done tonight. You can also do that. And downward facing dog. If and when you're ready, right leg goes up and back. And any way that works for you, foot between the hands. We're going to come up with your front heel off the floor, or back heel off the floor, excuse me, into your lunge. And then once you get upright, we're going to bring your hands down onto your hips and pull those elbows back like a little thigh master. Let's go ahead and straighten your front leg and take a little tip forward. Try to keep those elbows pulling back. Option 1, stay here. Option 2, for those of you that like to work on balance, bend the front knee a little bit. Come on up, warrior 3. Try to keep the hands on the hips tonight if you can. If you want to take them somewhere else, totally fine. Heart in front of you, ground. And you could keep the 2 feet on the ground and feel that same line and work. 2 more breaths here. And then we're going to bend the front knee if the left leg is lifted. Step back into your lunge. Let's all bend the front knee. Take your hands to the sky. And then exhale, hands down around the front foot. Look forward. Step into that right foot, bring your left foot forward. Bend your knees to the right amount of chair for you tonight. We have made it 43 minutes into class without chair pose. You're welcome. Come on up. It's my Monday gift to you. You are welcome to stay here. You're also welcome to just find that beautiful tall tree mountain pose and be here as well. If you're staying in chair with me, let's maybe fold over your legs. Let the hands go down and back. And then inhale, come back up into chair. How about 2 more times? It can be as dramatic as you want it to be, or as robotic and steady as you want it to be. Last one. All the way up to standing. And as you come up to standing, we're going to shift into your left leg and bring your right knee up. Hands come down below the thigh. Stir up the thigh. Option to stay here. Option to start to straighten your lifted leg. And just notice as you do that, the shenanigans we go through to try to get that leg up. Can you maintain this beautiful stack and ease that you've established? And just see what happens with the leg. Bend the lifted leg if it's straight. Let your right foot come on down to the ground. Inhale, hands go up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Home stretch here. One more round of standing postures tonight. Hands come down, and we're going to make that same journey back into downward facing dog. So again, like last time, You could just simply walk back, or knees off the ground or lifted, you can lower, lift into your back bend, and make our way back. We all meet up in the same place, downward facing dog. Let's fill up. Big inhale. Full complete exhale, let it go. Left leg lifts if and when it feels good. And then foot between your hands. We're going to rise up into your lunge. And then let your hands come on down to your hips, elbows bend, and pull back. You can think Thigh Master if that helps you. You can think I'm a superhero. Whatever helps. And then we're going to straighten the front leg. Feel the power of both legs there. And start to tip forward. Doesn't need to be super deep. Just feel sort of that diagonal line from the back leg. Stay here if you'd like, or if you like playing with balance poses, bend that front knee a little bit, come on up. Warrior 3. The class that I did with my teacher this morning had 7 warrior 3s on each side for what felt like eternities of holds. I'm not going to do that to you tonight. 2 more breaths here, wherever you're at. Bend that front knee. Step it back. Hands around the front foot. Right leg steps forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees. One of the only times where our weight is allowed or encouraged to shift back into the heels in yoga. Let the weight shift back. Come up, chair. You've got 3 breaths here. You can spend them in stillness. You can spend them in movement. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sit up, reach up. 2 more. Let's come all the way up to standing onto your right leg. Left knee comes up. Hands come down underneath that left thigh. Support it. Feel your line. Feel what you're creating inwardly. And then prioritize how it feels inside over what it looks like outside as you begin to straighten your lifted leg. If that's a no-go, keep it bent. Bend your lifted leg. Foot down to the floor. Big reach up, inhale. Root into your feet. Let's put a small bend into your knees so that you feel their power as you straighten the legs. Maybe reach the hands up and back a few inches, standing back bend. If your neck doesn't like this, your hands could come behind your head for a hammock. And then with your exhale, like a little crunch, restack your body and hands to heart. Big inhale. Full exhale. Let's take a step back with your left foot. Parallel your feet, toes turned toward the long edge of the mat. Hands on hips. And let's fold over your legs here. Now as you fold, let the hands come down underneath your shoulders. And let's let the arms and the head hang just as heavily as possible. And taking us back to one of the very first things we did in class, we've got all of this space to swing between. So you might grab your opposite arm in some way and find a little swing to the right, to the left. And your legs can stay straight as you do that, or as you swing to a side, you can softly bend that knee, and then same thing to the other side. Couple more breaths here. And if you just are craving stillness tonight, ignore all of that and just let yourself hang. Last 2 breaths. Start to push the ground away. Our next destination is seated on the floor. So if it works in your body, you might just sort of turn and spin to the front of your mat and step forward and sit down. If that doesn't work for you, soft bend in your knees, sneak up to standing, and then let's come on down to the mat. As you come to seated, we're going to bring the soles of the feet together, knees open, but we're not going to do the sort of short one that we do a lot. If you haven't figured it out yet, those of you who take a lot of classes with me, this is about my favorite pose ever. I think we do it every class. But tonight, instead, we're going to do a long diamond. So just take your feet, move them further away from you. I'll turn so you can see. But try to keep the soles of the feet together. Okay. Hands behind you is going to be an option if you just want to let the legs settle here and keep the spine long. Or if you would like to fold forward over your legs, that's an option to fold forward here. No intention or expectation of where your hands or your head get. Just kind of start to tip forward and see what's possible while maintaining that inner space that you've been creating. Some of you, just because your body is built this way, these shapes have much more, these hip openers have much more to do with bones and muscles. Some of you, the head might make its way down to your feet. Don't force it, don't push it to happen. Just be wherever you're at. We're going to be here for several breaths, so try to get comfortable. Knowing that that comfort comes from a connection to what's happening within, not some external goal that we're trying to create in terms of our shape. Shift the external shape until it feels really comfortable to exist in. If you're folded, let's really gently and easily walk yourself back upright. We're going to take your hands to the outer legs, help press those legs together. And those of you that were here, like right as we got started with class, if you grabbed 2 objects, go ahead and just get those close to your mat. So those of you that joined late, if you want to find something, you could really quickly. I'll give 2 options for Shavasana. One with 2 blocks, could also be 2 towels or 2 blankets or 2 pillows, about equal size so that we can put something underneath our thighs. All right, so if you've got something, go ahead and grab it and have it close by. And then let's come on down to your back. As you come down to your back, so your 2 objects can just be off to the side for now. As you come to your back, let's bend the knees, place the feet on the ground about as wide as your hips. Arms by your sides. And let's settle here. Feel the heaviness of the back of your body on the floor. And let's start to press down into your feet. We're going to lift your hips up off of the ground. Doesn't matter how high they get, just see what's available and what feels nice internally. And if it's available in your body, tonight we're going to walk your hands underneath you and clasp either thumbs or all of the fingers, just like we did in Warrior 1 earlier. If that's not available, you could just have your hands beside you on the mat flat. You could also grab the outer edges of your mat, also a good option. So, bridge pose, we're going to be here for a few breaths. Try to keep your eyeballs pointed straight up toward the sky. And that space between your shoulder blades, drawing in towards it, like so, shoulder blades toward each other, and then that spot between your shoulder blades forward toward your chest. About 3 more breaths here. In your low leg, can you feel your calves press gently forward as your heels try to pull back? They won't move. Just little actions to give a little more intention to your legs. Release the clasp if you have it. And let your hips slowly lower down onto the ground. Little tiny sway of your knees side to side. Well, let's slide your arms out into a T shape or a goalpost. We're going to cross your right leg over your left, just like it's sitting, like you're sitting in a chair. If that doesn't work for you, do ankle on thigh instead. Let's really root into the right side of your body. We're going to start to exhale, take your knees toward the left, maybe just about halfway down toward the ground. And then slowly bring them back up. Really easily and steadily. Let's do that a couple times. Exhale, knees toward the left. Try not to make this really strenuous. And back up. 2 more. Can this movement be settling or grounding in some way for you? 1 more. And then let the right foot come on down to the floor. Let's do that same thing on the second side. So left leg crosses, either full cross like you're sitting in a chair, figure 4. We'll exhale, knees toward the right as you root into that left arm, and inhale back up. Keep it easy, keep it fluid. How about 3 more rounds here? Exhaling into the twist. Inhale, bring it up. 2 more. And then let that left foot come down. And let's bring both knees into your chest. Hold on to shins or thighs as it works. And just let the head stay down tonight. Feel the heaviness of your back body settling into the floor. You can stay here for a couple breaths if you'd like, or open up into happy baby if you'd prefer. Happy baby with hands grabbing outer edges of the feet or ankles, or hands on the back side of the knees. 1 more full breath here. We're going to ease your feet down to the floor. And if you have 2 objects that act like blocks, you might grab them. Soles of the feet are going to come together. Knees will fall open for Shavasana tonight. And then you might place those blocks under your outer hips. So they're not underneath your butt. I see that happen a lot. Your pelvis and butt are on the ground. Blocks are just holding the outsides of your legs. If you do not have 2 objects like that, 2 towels, 2 blankets, 2 pillows, then just take normal Shavasana. with the legs out straight. Big inhale here, fill up. And as you exhale, feel the body let go. Cultivating an inner space here that allows you to relax and release. Lying on the floor is not a guaranteed relaxation. Our mind could still be anywhere. Our inner dialogue could be unsettling. The space around us could be unsettling. Do your best as we settle here for our relaxation to make sure that your inner space is as prepared for relaxation as possible. Be diligent about the thoughts that you let come into your mind right now. Be diligent about your inner dialogue. Be diligent about your attitude. Truly allow yourself to take rest. Sneak your hands gently underneath your outer thighs if you've got that diamond shape in your legs. Just help the legs come back together. Feel the feet on the ground once again. And if your legs have been straight for this period of time, bend your knees and let the soles of the feet come back to the earth. And just feel that connection to the ground. Over the next several breaths in a way and a time that feels right to you, we're going to make our way gently over to a side and little by little up to a comfortable seat. And as you come to that seat, let's bring the palms together in front of your heart. Taking a few more breaths here in your practice tonight and really weaving into this breath whatever you came seeking. And weaving into the breath this empowering realization that our reality is defined not by what's around us, but what is within us. And giving yourself that power to create your reality breath by breath, moment by moment, day by day. Thank you all so much. The light within me honors the light within each of you. Namaste. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you tuning in with us tonight. The links for these classes, as soon as we're done with them, turn into the link for the recording. So if you ever can't join us for class, the class is here for you to take anytime you'd like. If you really liked this one, you can take it again every day, as often as you want. We'll be back here Wednesday at 6 o'clock, and then Saturday at 10 a.m. That's our weekly schedule. Monday, Wednesday, 6 o'clock. Saturdays at 10 a.m. If you'd like to leave or give a contribution for class, there's information in the description of the video about how to do that. Thank you notes and high fives, virtual, of course, are always encouraged and appreciated as well. And thank you so much, Howard, for being here with us. I'm going to post here in a moment a link for Zoom. And if you feel like you want to chat or ask some questions about class or just need to see some faces for a little bit, you can pop over onto Zoom with us and join us there. Tonight, we are giving away a $25 gift card to Eola Hills, which is where we would have normally been for class tonight. So we're happy to be able to support them this evening. In order to be entered to win, just post anytime before tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. a picture on Instagram or Facebook and tag us of your home practice. Maybe it was a picture of the screen tonight or your space, your fur children, anything that shows that you were here with us. And we'll do that drawing on Instagram tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Thank you, Jillian and Catherine. Thank you so much for being here. Let me get up there and post the link for Zoom into the chat section really quick. And then we will head off into our evening. Didn't have it prepared tonight, so give me just a moment. Fail, fail. Okay, here it comes. Boom, boom. All right, guys. Oh, yay. Thank you, Charlotte. Thank you, Travis, Neil. Mwah. Thank you, Flora. I'm so glad you're enjoying the practices. Nicole, good to have you here again. Lisa, love you, Lisa. Thanks, Lori. That's my favorite Shavasana variation as well. It's nice when we have props. Namaste and rainbows to you as well, Lauren. Thank you. Here's the Zoom link. Nika, so good to have you. Yay, I love seeing your names. It's almost as good as seeing your faces, but not quite. All right, guys, come chat on Zoom if you want to see some faces. Love you guys. Bye.